should have been recording all this.
We are.
Oh, well, we are.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, he's been recording, I think, even before
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty good about
Stealth
timing
ninja
that
shit.
button, so
Yep.
No intro, no fucking welcome to the show. Just get in there and start talking shit.
Well, welcome to the show.
Welcome back to the Trick Talking Meat podcast that's apparently been running for 15 minutes already. I am your co-host, Brother John, and with me as always, The Smoke Show.
Allie.
And that other guy over there who's a douche.
What's up?
Hey.
Yo.
Sneaky bastard who doesn't allow to let anybody know. Hey, say something fucked up so I can put it on the internet. Embarrass the shit out of you later.
We already have a bunch of that, I think.
Oh, y'all.
Plenty of it. It was Andor.
Andor, man.
Andor finished.
I haven't even watched the rest of it. I got bored.
Really?
About the fourth or fifth one into it, I'm tired of this shit.
We had to finish it and then watch
okay,
Rogue
so
One.
you left around the time of the Planet of the Dumbasses, right?
Yeah, it was the wedding that lost me. I'm like, this is the
okay,
dumbest shit ever. This is just blatantly Disney making a Star Wars wedding so they can make that a thing at the theme park. For $25,000, you can have your Star Wars themed ugly
Your
wedding.
Chandrila, traditional
that's fair.
Chandrilan.
That's the only thing. Kelly looked at me and she said, this is going to be a thing at the Disneyland park later this year where you can rent out a hall that looks like this and have people dress like that and have your shitty wedding at a Disney theme park.
Yeah.
I can see it.
And more power to you if that's what you want. Like the weird beige and taupe colors. They say taupe is a very soothing color.
I don't know. It's kind of meh.
I didn't need to see like a 60-year-old woman raving. That was where I was like, this is dumb.
Yeah, it was weird.
I mean, I get it, what was going on. She, I get the symbolism.
She was living her best life. No. But, trying to live her best life or drinking so she could live her best life.
That was going to be my thought for the show this week is, are we tired of sequels yet and prequels and just rehashing the same shit over and over and again?
God.
Yes. I think if you're going to do one, just do something original.
If I was going to do a show for Disney, let's be honest here, why haven't we got a mini-series about Shadows of the Empire? Something interesting. If you want to do a behind-the-scenes
Shadows
or
would be amazing.
Prince Zizor, you could have Vader back, you could have a lot of your core characters, get Sebastian Stan to play Luke. Come on, man. Like, this would be awesome. You don't have to worry about Han, so you don't need Harrison. The regular dude could play Chewbacca, Dash Rendar would be a fun character to see. You'd have a new scoundrel that we could market.
Yep.
That actually...
Which he's
brings up a
popular
pretty
anyway.
good, I guess, discussion topic then. Where's the line between coming up with something new, or trying to come up with something new and original, or choosing to adapt something instead?
Men in Black 3. Men in Black 3 is a good example about a sequel doing something original.
Oh, was that the time travel one?
Time travel
one, It was like Josh Brolin playing. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, that was good.
That was really
That's
good.
a time travel story that didn't suck. It wasn't Mannequin 2, as much as I love Mannequin 2.
Anytime you start doing time travel shit, it's going to get linked back to Back to the Future.
Beastmaster 2.
The Beastmaster.
But see, that's the whole thing with Men in Black 3. They didn't link it to Back to the Future. It was something. The ability to do so was original. And how they got to that velocity was a different thing. You just jumped off the building to build the velocity high enough.
I hear I'm
trying to figure out where the hell it's coming from.
I can hear her through your headphones, I think.
That might have been me.
Anytime you do a time travel movie, they're going to compare it to Back to the Future because it really is the gold standard of awesome time travel. It makes no fucking sense whatsoever.
But at the same time, there are no plot holes.
Right. Yeah,
there
it's a seamless movie.
There really are no plot holes. Like, you might be able to find, like, a nitpicky one here and there, but for the most part, everything's connected to everything else, and... Even
the Avengers Endgame, or what was it, Endgame, where, Tony Stark called him out, please tell me your plan doesn't involve the plot to Back to the Future. Even the Avengers had to fucking reference and go back.
Yeah.
I mean, what else has worked in time travel movies? I guess Star Trek IV Voyage Home, when they went and got some whales.
Mm.
Yeah, they flew around the sun in reverse. That's their big science.
Yeah,
not buying it.
It seems like
Superman
80s and 90s,
did that too.
It was always.
Yeah. Oh yeah, good point. Yeah, Superman. He tried to save Lois Lane.
He went backwards.
Wait, he spun the Earth reverse on its axis.
Yeah, but that goes back to my theory that shouldn't Lois Lane be pressing rape charges on Superman because then 30 years later in Superman Returns she has a kid.
Yep. Yeah.
And doesn't know who the father is, apparently. And then he has superpowers. It's like, well, I think it's kind of Captain Obvious now. When did that happen?
Right.
weren't really thinking of that one, were we, Brandon Root?
That and going backwards, like changing the Earth on its axis, wouldn't that just be catastrophic?
Yeah, that would spin us all out of control and destroy the planet, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not Neil deGrasse Tyson, but that'd be a question for him on his Star Talk.
I think it's actually been brought up.
Probably has.
Spinning the Earth the wrong
Switching
way.
Axis.
Yeah. There have been at least scientific talks about Superman 2 and spinning the Earth on its axis, and how that basically would spin us off into the friggin' sun.
Right. Yeah, we would lose our orbit and be plummeting into a doom at the sun.
Yep.
But that's not these questions, as Stan Lee would say.
Yep.
Just take the fucking pill and accept it.
The best example of time travel, though, was in Justice League. There was a couple of episodes where, like, the guy was going back in time and stealing artifacts, like just trinket, useless shit. But then he started stealing, like, big shit. And then what's his name? Which one's the Green Lantern?
James Stewart.
John Stewart.
John Stewart.
I was brain farting. I was thinking
Sorry,
Phil Lamar in my head, but I couldn't
remember
in my
the character's
name.
I was thinking James Stewart, and then I'm like, wait a minute, no,
but
that's
he disappears,
an actor, isn't
and
it?
Hal Jordan just pops up out of nowhere because this time multiverse is happening. He's like, Hal Jordan, I'm up to speed. Like, just doesn't even need any explanation as to why the other Green Lantern is gone. And he's here now, but it's fine. And then he goes, snaps right back, and then John Stewart's back, and Hal disappears. But the best line in the series, Hal Jordan, I'm up to speed.
That's a show I need to rewatch.
I've learned to trust James Gunn, but that fucking haircut
on Superman
up the
Gardner.
damn wall.
On Guy Gardner.
Yes.
Are you talking about the bowl cut?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the classic
It's
bowl
classic,
cut.
though.
I hate
it's the
that
blonde
haircut.
that's throwing me off.
He looks like a penis.
Well, that's James Gunn's point.
Yeah.
Didn't Guy
would
Gardner
do that
kind
on
of walk around
purpose.
acting like a
dick,
cock anyway?
He is. Yeah, he is a dick.
It was the blonde hair that threw me off. I thought he was redhead.
Yeah. The red hair.
The thing is, though, I can't
just,
think of who it is. Like, that's.
And people are bitching about the Superman suit, but I think that's just like a pre-suit. Like, it's not the final.
Yeah.
The suit's fine.
You know, that's just the cock tease for the trailer.
I mean, they change the suit like for every superhero movie, they change the suit
I know some people
from one to another all the time.
Some people don't like James Gunn, and some people think but I'll say it right now. I've said it for years. If I was on his dick any harder, I'd be a condom. I'm so hyped for this movie. I hate fucking Superman, but I can't wait. He had me with Crypto. I've said that.
Oh yeah.
When I saw the dog, I'm like, I'm sold, man. That's a comic nerd thing.
Yep.
He did that for us. I have faith in the Superman movie. I think it's going to be really good. Hopefully this is because again, I really want to love DC movies.
Yeah.
I really wish
it's
they'd
been so hard.
That kind of ties back into it too. How many Superman movie reboots have we had?
Yeah.
And it does seem like he's on track to do it right because it's something different. It's new.
Sure.
It's not it's not the same fucking thing we've seen over and over.
We don't need an origin story. We don't need fucking Lex Luthor as the villain every damn time.
Yeah.
Again, we've said this again, but it's like, why do we have to keep going back to the same group of villains? Superman's got this huge archive of people. Brainiac and Darkseid and Bizarro and just there's
Gorilla Grodd.
Yeah,
there's hundreds of them and Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm sorry, and Lex is cool and all, and I like the guy that got playing him, the kid that played Beast in the X-Men flicks.
Yeah.
He's going to be really
Nicholas
good.
Hoult.
Nicholas Hoult, yeah.
It's chasing the lightning in the bottle thing.
Yeah, I think it's just an easy thing to save on the budget is what it is, because Luthor doesn't really require any CG or any superpower, because every time Superman's on screen fighting or doing anything, it's probably costing you $1 million every 15, 20 seconds.
Well, if you think about it too, though, the flip side is if you're doing a character like, say, Gorilla Grodd, right?
Right, now.
Mainly CG.
It's probably a motion capture type thing and a voice actor.
You get a voice actor, and they're less cost.
Lawrence Fishburne would be a good Gorilla Grodd.
He would, actually. He's got that voice for it.
Yeah.
He would have been really excellent for that.
Right?
Michael Clark Duncan, too.
Yep.
That low bass gravelly. Because you have to have that intelligence in there too, man. That gravitas to it. But yeah, the classic villain voices.
I don't care what anybody says. I do love his Kingpin.
Yeah. Oh, I loved him as Kingpin. Who the fuck else were you going to get in the 90s that was the right size and say, oh, he's black, fuck you. That dude was awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now, I love Vincent D'Onofrio too, don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Any of the naysayers, go back and watch the Daredevil director's cut.
The
it was
Kingpin
great.
of the age.
Right?
You know?
Yeah, it was Coolio. And... No, is it Coolio? Yeah, it's Coolio.
Yeah, it was Daredevil Affleck.
Yeah. Yep. He represented him.
Batfleck.
Yep.
No,
I'm pretty sure it was
I thought
Coolio.
it was alright.
No,
It's not as nearly as bad as everybody said.
Nah.
It was Busta, wasn't it?
It was somebody. Who cares?
It's one of the two, Coolio or Busta Rhymes.
I think it was Busta Rhymes.
Was it Busta Rhymes?
He was in Halloween, wasn't he?
Yeah.
H2O.
Yeah,
he was in a lot of
Busta
things
Rhymes
around that
was
time,
a massive nerd. Like, he was a huge sci-fi comic nerd.
Take advantage.
He loved that stuff. You know,
but,
Rest in Power, all that.
Yeah, those are the only time travel things that come to brain right now.
Yeah.
Star Trek Voyage Home, Back to the Future, in-game, obviously.
Men in Black 3.
Men in Black 3.
Which, like I said, I think is one of the more...
Beastmaster 2 Through the Portal of Time.
Right. Well, then you're also talking about, like, House 2, you know?
Yeah.
The horror film.
That's right, House 2.
Every time you do time travel in Star Trek, though, you know it's going to get fucked. It's like, just stop.
That's the one with the grandfather that...
First Contact, yeah. That's another time travel.
That was a good one, though. That worked.
Oh, yeah. It was good.
Because they did the whole chicken and the egg thing, because, they go back to the Enterprise season 2 or 4 or whatever it was, that wherever they went back in the Borg that crashed in First Contact on Earth were in Antarctica, and the Enterprise TV series, they found them.
Yeah.
And then they sent the signal out, which brought the Borg in Next Generation. It's just Q showed us where they were coming 2 years early. Anyway, yeah.
Oh,
Star Trek. Anytime Star Trek starts fucking around with the timeline, it just gets kind of hokey. But
yeah, well, I mean, the X-Men TV show also, the cartoon dealt with it.
Oh yeah, Days of Future
Past, and with Bishop and stuff like that.
Well,
I know a lot of people.
That's right, the movie.
They bitched about the movie where it's Wolverine and not Kitty Pryde going back in time, but the movie actually worked with Wolverine. It made more sense.
It did.
There's a lot of stuff in films and comics that people get pissed off to. It's like, Joker killing Batman's parents in the original '89 Batman movie. It's like, no, that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. Right?
Yes, I understand it was Joe Chill. No, nobody knew who the fuck that was in 1989.
Exactly.
Only a die-hard comic book dork is going to even know that reference.
Exactly.
Now it's kind of canon, because I think in Batman Begins it was Joe Chill.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
All the movies since then have kind of went back to it. No, we're accurate. Yeah. Good for you. Doesn't make the movie any less boring.
I mean, it gave him that great one-liner.
You killed my parents and you threw me in acid,
Ever dance with the devil in pale moonlight.
Yep.
Good line.
Well, see, and again, that's adapting, changing, doing something a little original.
Yeah.
People bitched about the Infinity War Endgame movie too. Just it's not like a comic book. It didn't have death. It's just, you can't use death as a character because it's just stupid anyway.
I mean,
you can't do
little.
Well, yeah, now it's a Marvel Comics to make her hot.
It's my head canon. It was little Gamora.
Right.
It was death.
Yeah,
and they did bring her. They finally did bring her in with Aubrey Plaza.
Oh yeah, that was on
in Agatha.
Yeah.
Agatha
Which,
Harkness.
I mean, I was very happy with.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty good cast.
Yeah. I mean, I love Death as a character. I mean, I had hoped that there would be more of a connection with Deadpool, but who knows down the line.
Well, that's why I think they kind of skipped it on those two movies. It's like, you don't have Deadpool, so that'd be kind of weird.
Yeah.
And you have a major comic book villain who's pretty much been built up to be this badass is pining over a dead person.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
The dead person. Does that make Thanos and Deadpool necrophiliacs?
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Deadpool would be, proud of it.
Right.
I mean, that's just his character.
Thanos would probably argue, that's oversimplification.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, technically she is only an aspect. She's not technically dead because she was never a person.
Well, that's just dehumanizing.
Because she's not human, she's an aspect.
I think you're just prejudiced against dead people, Ellie.
Oh, I mean, they are dead, huh? They're not going to come and defend themselves.
Was it the Insane Clown Posse? Sure, she's dead, man. That's all right. Sure, she don't talk as much, and she doesn't move around a lot, but she's still fresh, man. She's still fun to be around. Sorry.
I was just going to reference Thunderbolts. It's like taking that.
Yeah.
Thunderbolt. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but they say it's good.
Yeah.
It's supposedly
really
going to be
good.
up on pay-per-view on TV here in the next couple of weeks.
Oh,
Really?
nice.
Wow.
Nice.
That's
You know what
quick.
else is going to be up for rent soon? Snow White.
Yeah. Oh God, that was a.
I think I would just skip the rental thing and go straight to Disney Plus and see what you can salvage from it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
people are blasting that poor girl, man, but she kind of earned it, you know?
Yeah, she did kind of get a little haughty and start running her mouth too much.
Well, apparently the Peter Dinklage stuff is
the Peter Dinklage stuff came out now.
I've heard more and more people talking about it.
He was pissed that they didn't use little people?
No, they were pissed that they were going to use little people.
Right.
And so he lost.
He ranted on a podcast about it.
And, really?
And they decided to change it.
Cost a whole bunch of people their jobs because they changed it.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
He didn't like it, or?
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
he has, and understandably, it's kind of like the
if
same
anybody
view
should have an
that
opinion, it
Warwick
should be
Davis has. You know, is that they're not your freak show. They're not your jesters. And I think he took offense to them being the seven dwarves, but you know,
it is a little racially insensitive.
It is.
But that was his stance, and then Disney canceled it, and then Warwick Davis piped up and was like, "You just cost 7 people their jobs.
7 little people."
Yeah,
well, that's the problem though, because originally they didn't even use dwarves in that movie. There's still shots of them floating around the internet where like one of them was like a 7-foot-tall black dude, and one of them was like a little Asian guy, and it was like, come on.
But it was like early on
that old
in
movie.
The casting, like they were just starting casting, and Peter Dinklage brought that up, and then Warwick Davis, and it was like this whole thing, and Disney was like, "We're not gonna mess with that thing."
I think when it leaked out that image of the 7. Whatever they were, not dwarves. People were like, "How can you do Snow White and 7 dwarves without the dwarves?" So they went back and they were going to use little people, and then he got pissed, and Warwick got pissed, and then they ultimately just went to a CGI job and had to reshoot all the dwarf stuff, and then fill the movie with garbage fucking new songs that nobody wants.
Yeah. I wouldn't even
like
know.
Rachel Ziegler's like weird female empowerment tune that sounded just like Manoa and sounded just like the one from Lilo and Stitch and sounded just like the one.
Man.
I've already read too that Bob Iger wants to go back and do another live action movie that's the traditional Snow White and the 7, and like the whole company was like, no, we're not.
You
You
cannot be A Tale of Horror.
Yeah.
Snow White and A Tale of Horror. It is an older movie. It's got Sam Neill in it.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
That was a really good telling of Snow White. Sigourney Weaver.
I remember that.
The Wicked Stepmother.
Yeah, and what sucks, I feel bad for Gal Gadot because she was probably perfect as the fucking Wicked Witch. That's like some insanely good casting. But then you've got this running around the internet, ruining it for everybody. Like even the producers had to fly to New York to tell her to shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
like, you're shooting our movie in the foot. Stop.
Yeah. Evil Queen, not Wicked Stepmother.
So Kelly and I were talking about this. Like, she'll go on and she'll make a couple of garbage, like, indie films and then make a return somewhere in a few years. Like, somebody will get her on the cheap and maybe she'll redeem her career. Who knows?
I don't know.
But that goes into the topic of sequels and prequels. Is it just too much now? Stop remaking everything.
Yeah, remakes. I have to say, I am excited for Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah,
I think that's
my daughter's
one that
like going apeshit over that one.
You know,
she's 23.
I love Stitch.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
There's doing it right and there's doing it wrong.
Hot Toys has a Stitch now.
We're being
inundated
inundated with people doing it wrong.
The thing I think is weird is like The Rock is doing, they're doing the Manoa live action movie. I'm like, the movie's only 10 years old anyway. Like, why are we doing a fucking remake?
I don't even think Moana is 10 years old.
Yeah, it's not even a classic or anything. Like, who asked for this? Like,
I still need to watch the second one.
I think they're doing it because they're like, oh, okay, well, The Rock is still feasible to physically do it, so let's do it.
Well, I mean, is he actually just going to be himself in the movie, or are they going to CGI him up to be like the big oaf from the cartoon?
I think he's himself. He's dressed up as Maui, so.
I've seen interviews. He said he wanted to do it for his kids, and I get it. That's pretty rad.
Until release, I don't know that we know
he's
for
so
sure.
proud of being Maui, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good role. That's cool. He's a Hawaiian
something.
resident and a native. Yeah. It's like, why wouldn't you want to do a movie about that? You know?
Yeah, absolutely. But
more power to him. But do we really need a live action movie? Again, less than 10 years.
Yeah.
A sequel to a movie that's not even classic.
Yeah.
We're still buying copies of the animated movie, man. What are you doing?
And they
it's just greedy.
Released the sequel to the animated movie.
Yep.
Why are we
remaking?
Yeah,
to the point where I have not seen it yet.
Yeah.
Well, hell, now we've got Toy Story 5 coming around the corner. You know, it's like
just stop. Just stop.
No, they can't stop. I mean, that's just smart, though. That's smart business. You've developed software for these characters. It's already there.
Yeah.
It's not costing them shit.
No, I know.
The biggest paycheck is going to be, Tom Hanks and Tim Allen.
Yeah.
Everything else is just, getting a writer to come up with a script over a weekend and
It's
but
crazy.
I don't know how many more movies you could make about Andy's toy chest. I mean, the guy's got to be a grandfather now. Is that what would be the plot?
He gave the toys away.
Well, he gave them to the kids. Yeah,
to the little girl.
Right. So is he going to find them again somehow and give them to his grandchildren? I mean,
let's ask Chat GPT.
Yeah, right.
Yep. Let's burn up a.
And I know it's John Ratzenberger that's in the movie, but Norm died this weekend. Yeah. George Wendt.
Really?
Yeah, you didn't see that?
No, I didn't see that.
Norm Peterson is gone. Another part of our childhood is gone. I watched Cheers growing up. I love that show. Yeah.
Hey, we were watching it in April. Not this April. No. Whatever April the eclipse was. Last April.
Not this past April.
It bums me out because that was a sequel that I was enjoying, was the new Frasier. I thought that was a really good show, but they did the first 2 seasons and they kept saying, well, if it takes off, well, obviously he's in Boston again. He'll have to return to Cheers. But without Norm, can you? Yeah. Yeah, that'd be a bummer.
Yeah.
Weird Star Trek facts. Deep Space Nine, the character of Morn was named after Norm from Cheers. No, I'm serious.
No, I believe it.
And that's why he's in every episode, like all but 2 episodes of Deep Space Nine, you will see Morn. He's like a Where's Waldo thing in every episode. And he never has any dialogue or lines.
He's just there.
He's just there. He's just always sitting at the end of the bar at Quark's or walking through the promenade or moving about somewhere. But yeah, Morn is in like almost every episode.
That's awesome.
It's like the greatest background role ever. Yeah. Like if you scored that one, like you've got a job every week for 7 years and you're just sitting at the end of the bar drinking beer.
Yeah.
Not bad, yeah.
But that's how they got his name. Morn was Norm spelled backwards. And
yeah.
Well,
if you're going to have a bar, Cheers was still on the air at that point, or just recently off the air. So fresh. So yeah, I think it was a funny insider joke. I'd like to meet that guy.
Yeah.
Always wondered if he was union or just, like I said, a background guy, or like how did it work with him? He's got a
one
toy.
Of the crew and...
No, I mean he was there. He was a hired actor to do it, but it was definitely background because he didn't have any lines. So uncredited role.
Yeah, I always wonder about things like that.
Sure.
Like how much did they pay him? Because they probably paid him shit.
Yeah, it's a heavy makeup job. He's probably getting about $5 a week.
Oh, that's not bad then.
If he's there for one day, it's probably a one-day job just to do his pass-through or whatever. I mean, a lot of times, again, he was just walking through the back of the scene or in the back of the bar, hitting on a waitress with no dialogue.
So you get more money for being in the makeup.
Yeah, you will get a bump in pay for that because is a miserable job. And you have shitty hours and...
Yeah.
You're not getting any residuals or kickbacks on the backside of that.
I'd be able to do it. I'd just fall asleep in the chair.
Yeah, that's what I did.
That's what they do, yeah. Listen to podcasts and just...
Most of the dudes that did my makeup and Guardians like that, though, they were like, they'd been in the business for 25, 30 years. So they'd just tell you stories about movies and shit that they'd worked on. And it was awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, good guys.
Yeah.
Fun guys to hear background stuff on movies and shit I've been growing up with. But
right.
For the Trick Talking Meat podcast, peace and long life, and we'll see you next week.
Bye. No, on the subject of anal bees, I remember back...
Oh, well. Do tell.
You mentioned it. You brought it up.
Well, I didn't want to hear about them, but go on now. You've built it up now.
There was